Hi, it's James with Tabletop Trysts, and this video I'm gonna get a little real. I wanted to make this video here. I had done one about why I created Tabletop Trysts and why I'm making this content, and I talked about how this was a difficult year for me, and I talked about how D&D has helped me through. And so I just kind of wanted to expand on it and share a little bit of my story. So it's been a difficult year because in January, my wife and I had started our divorce, and with losing that, I also lost, at least for me, I've lost my home, and then I lost my job, and that was kind of the last straw for me. Once that happened, I couldn't do it, so I moved out, and so the last few months have just been it's been a lot of heartbreak. It's just been a lot. And there have been times when I was like, well, I don't think it's gonna get any better. Yeah. I felt myself just giving up and just letting things happen, and whatever happens happens, and not really wanting to participate. Just drifting really. But in those moments when I was starting to feel that, I don't know, I didn't have a purpose anymore, or I didn't have a home anymore, or I didn't have love anymore. D&D has helped take away those thoughts and fill that void that loss of love has kind of created in me. I fell in love with D&D years ago, but wasn't a lot of people to play with, so I didn't have a lot of opportunity to participate in this magic. And so over the years, just almost forgot about it. And then Baldur's Gate came out, Baldur's Gate 3. And yeah, my wife and I played it. She played a lot more than me. I think she's past the 900-hour mark at this point. I am at, I think I want to say 600 hours. The last one was, I think, 90 something that I got to the end and TPK'd on honor mode. So I lost that too. Sorry, you got to have a little bit of humor, right? But anyway, having that, I decided that I wanted to come to the table, and I decided to be the craziest of them all and decided to DM as my first go of D&D. And honestly, I would not have done it any differently. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the story. I fell in love with helping to create the story and help drive the story on the other end. Some people are like, "Oh yeah, being a DM sucks because you don't get to you don't get to make a character and da da da." I'm like, "No, I get hundreds of characters. I get to do that." And so it was a fun experience. And then once all of this loss and this heartbreak started to happen, D&D gave me something to look forward to. It gave me an escape as well. It was hard. It was hard to be in the house, but there's a little shop down the road, called Gatekeeper Games, and it's a nerd shop. I mean, it's cool. It's got this retail store in the front here. In the middle is like this bar area, this hangout area with like couches, and you've got a library of tabletop games. You've got some books that you can read. I mean, it's just a cool place to hang out. And then they've got a huge game area with just tables everywhere. And that's where we played, for the first time. That's where I played D&D, or did my first, campaign. And yeah, it was great. And then, again, when all this happened, I started spending more time there and started talking to the people there and sharing stories and hearing other people playing D&D too is pretty cool. On Tuesdays, this group came in, and the DM was running this kind of cool thing with one of the characters, and is even though it was only one character, he had 3 NPCs involved, and so he had those NPCs, or those, well, they ended up being enemies, being played by the other players. So that way they weren't left out during that whole scene. You know, it was really cool to kind of see stuff like that, and see the consideration and see the thought that went into this story that they were weaving together. And so seeing beautiful moments like that, and then feeling those beautiful moments as well whenever I was DMing a table, it allowed me to remember that human connection is a beautiful thing, and it's so profound and so healing when you're having that connection with somebody else. You know, when you're feeling absolutely alone, when you're feeling just completely down, playing D&D, and I'll be honest, there's times I forced myself to go to the table, almost canceled, stopped canceling, and ended up still going. And doing that, it rejuvenated me. It rejuvenates people who are having that hurt, who are having that pain or that sadness. And for me, it does 2 different things. Me as a DM, first of all, I'm so busy because I do no prep. I'll be honest with you. As a DM, I barely do any preparation. I've got a backpack just full of all the tools and stuff, so I like prepared like all that. But for the most part, like the story and everything, it's all made up like on the fly. So I'm like going so much and in so many different directions and trying to figure out things and taking notes. And, you know, it's so chaotic, right? Being a DM, because there's just so much to take care of that I don't have time to worry about my pain. I don't have time to remember that I'm going through a divorce. I don't have time to remember that I'm trying to find a new job again because I'm so busy. But at the same time, these NPCs that I'm weaving as well, I can channel all the negative feelings that I'm feeling, those feelings of loss, those feelings of hopelessness, those feelings of lovelessness, those feelings of, I mean, it feels abandonment sometimes, to be honest. All those feelings I can channel into my NPCs. The last session that I just had with my players, that I've been live streaming, it's Elanatra. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. It's actually on the channel. I'm live streaming them and just keeping them pure. I'm not even editing them after the fact. I'm leaving them and just time stamping them and calling it a day. Yeah, we're in Elanatra. And I had a character who is going through some emotional stuff, and I legit started crying on camera as that character because I was able to take what I was feeling inside and bring it into that character to allow me to get it out, because, you know, I can't bottle it up. That's horrible. You don't want to bottle that up. It's just going to eat you up inside, right? But at the same time, I was like, I've been going through it all these months still, and the pain is still there. It's not going away. And I could just cry like I was doing all the time, or I could wait until I'm at the table and I can say, you know what, this character is going through something. This character is sharing maybe not the exact same pain, because obviously they're going through something different, but they're going through pain nonetheless. Maybe I can connect with that character and allow my pain to flow through them and out. And that's what that's been doing for me. It's been allowing me to not only forget that pain, but then also process through the pain at the same time. And on top of that, my players, I know people say this, but in my opinion, I've got the best players at my table, because here's the thing. Not only is it fun to just play with them, they've been so crucial and just continually lifting me up when I'm just feeling down. And when I'm feeling that pain, and when I'm feeling like, you know what, I don't even want to DM anymore. And honestly, when I get to that point where I don't even want to do what I love, I mean, how much lower can you get? And so having those players there to get me out of that is just, for me, that's what D&D is about. It's not just about making up a character, going into this fictional world and fighting some monsters. It's not even just coming up with a cool story to tell. It's what's happening behind the dice. It's what's happening around the table and those connections that you're making with the people around you. And you know what? They might be people that you already love. They might be people that you've never even met before. And that's beautiful too. that D&D can bring people together that maybe wouldn't have ended up together in the first place. And seeing the connections that that can make is just, that's the reason. That's why I wanted to make this a slightly longer video of explaining why Tabletop Trysts, because I wanted to explain my story. And I wanted to explain why I'm doing Tabletop Trysts, because you know what? I'll be honest, it's a selfish endeavor because it's allowing me to get through this. It's allowing me to feel, well, to feel. It's allowing me to feel in a healthier way. It's allowing me to process through everything. And it's allowing me to create again. It's allowing me where even though I feel all this loss, I'm feeling so much more that I'm growing. So even though I'm losing, I'm still growing at the same time. You know, it's like when a tree falls in the forest and you plant a new one. And so that's what it's feeling like. And so that's why Tabletop Trysts is, that's why it's in existence. It's because not only is it helping to heal me, but I'm hoping that I can create and foster a fully inclusive community with Tabletop Trysts where everybody's welcome to the table and they can use it as a tool to heal. And not even just a tool to heal, but a tool to make those connections and a tool to, yeah, not just have fun, but to make memories, to connect on a level that you never would have expected before. And I'm hoping that Tabletop Trysts can help with that. So if any of this resonated with you, just leave a comment and let me know. There's not a lot right now, so it's pretty easy. But I'm trying to read all of them, and then I want to respond to all of them, and I want to have a conversation about D&D. And if you're a new player and you're watching this, I really hope that this kind of helped reinforce your interest and made you continue to want to build your first character or DM your first campaign. All this to say that I'm glad that you're going to be on this journey with me, and I'm glad that you listened to my story. And if you want to see more of what's happening here at Tabletop Trysts, just make sure to hit that subscribe button. You know, you'll be updated. And more importantly, like I said, leave a comment because I want to talk to y'all. I want to make these connections. I want to have these conversations, and I want you all to share the secret with me. Thanks again, everyone.